All right. So today on the First Time Storytelling broadcast, my guest is Rich Taylor. Rich is the founder of the menswear brand Harrison Blake Apparel. Look how sharp he looks, which he named after his son. He is the first brand to develop a men's fashion subscription and custom suits and shoes at competitive pricing. Rich is here to share the story of the first time making connection with his clients over Zoom. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here. Can't wait to
All
share
right.
the story.
Awesome. Let's get a little bit into your backstory before we get into the Zoom call, because obviously it's been a progression. So what inspired you to start a men's apparel brand?
You know what? The funny thing is, what inspired me was I just didn't have the money to purchase a certain accessory that I wanted. Now, we were coming out of the recession, and I wanted to buy a lapel pin. And it's just like a little flower or pin you put on your suit. And at the time, they were like $30. And I had two small children, and I had two mortgages, and fighting the recession here in Michigan, I couldn't afford it. So I started to make this lapel pin myself to save money. So once I made it, I wore it to a couple events. Everybody wanted it. So I thought to myself, I could sell these things instead of just making them for myself. And that's really how the business got started, just starting off out of necessity.
Wow, with a lapel pen. So
Yeah.
what was just really quick, what was the progression like to go from making a lapel pin to, no kidding, custom suits?
Right. So it's been about a 7-year process. When it first started, like you said, just with the lapel pin, starting off with a small accessory, I took about $200 and invested it into products and bootstrapped and started to sell the products on Etsy. And then I thought to myself, well, this is going really good. Why don't I get my own website, brand it, give it a name? I gave it the name after my son. Actually, it was my wife's idea to do that, which was a great idea, has a great sound to it, and also a personal purpose for me. So after developing that product, a year went by, started developing neckties, pocket squares. Another year went by, and then we just decided, let's manufacture all of our products. So we did the monthly subscription. And then just recently in 2020, after really taking the time to make sure we had everything down, all the partnerships lined up, the quality is there, then we decided to roll out the custom suits and custom shoes for people. So it's been an evolution, and that's just the way things go sometimes. There's nothing wrong with being patient, taking your time, and making things happen.
Yeah, and doing it right that way, nice and slow. And now the subscription, what was behind that? What made you think, well, this makes a lot of sense to do it this way? And then what was the pressure around that? Because now you have to create something new monthly.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, so the idea behind that, what happened is we had the lapel pins, and we were featured in two pretty prominent subscription boxes. They wanted our lapel pins in their box. Most subscriptions curate products from other brands, so we were included in those, and that was pretty successful. Everybody liked them, so much so that those brands invited us back in to put more products into the subscription box. And at that point, I thought to myself, no, I don't want to do it. And it shocked them. They were surprised. They were like, you don't want thousands of people to see your products? And I thought, I do, but at the same time, this subscription thing is really hot right now. I could just do my own subscription, and get some of that market share. And if I do that, I can have the ownership myself. So that's what I decided to do. So they were pretty surprised, as I mentioned, that I turned down their offer, but I decided to just try it on my own. And the pressure was there because it was like, if this flops, I'm going to look pretty foolish. But the one thing that I did different from the previous companies that were already out there is we made our subscription totally matching. All the products match. So if a guy's not that stylish, he doesn't have to worry about it. Everything comes to him perfectly matching, and it usually will match a blue suit or a gray suit or a tan suit, which most guys have in their closet. So I'm very mindful when I curate the designs to make sure it's going to match pretty much all three of those colors that guys have. It takes the guesswork out of it for those that are, not really into style and fashion, but want to look good. And that's kind of how that just kind of rolled out. And it is a challenge every month to come up with new designs and new color schemes and all kinds of things and keep people happy. But over the years, we've been able to do it. No repeat items have been in there. We did it somehow.
So, what has that personal journey been like for you? Because obviously, that was a big risk to do that, and like you said, you're taking on the pressure. So, what's happening to you through this growth and this process?
Oh man, through this growth, I've lost all my hair. No, a lot of pulling your hair out though, honestly. Just trying to learn the business. And the hardest thing about a subscription is figuring out the shipping schedule, when people sign up. And so there's been a lot of hurdles and a lot of research that has gone into it. Then also developing products and finding the right partnerships. I'm not making all the products like I was at the very beginning. I'd come home after work and I'd sit there and be, a glue gun and all these different items, and I'm doing assembly, my hands are stuck together and all these things, but I'm not sewing and doing all that anymore. We have partners and things are getting manufactured. So for me, it has been to learn how to really grow and develop those partnerships, but also the other aspects of business that aren't fun for entrepreneurs. Boy, that's been a struggle for me. I'm not really an organized person when it comes to, doing the accounting and keeping track of all the expenses. Entrepreneurs have shiny object syndrome, and we just want to go and do all the fun and exciting things. So it's been a
creative
challenge.
Stuff.
Right, creative. Now when you actually got to sit down and do the business side of it, that's been tough, but it's helped me. It's helped me learn. It's helped me to grow. And I don't regret it. I think this has been really good for personal growth. So anybody out there with an idea that's an entrepreneur, I say go for it. It's a fun way to push your limits, and you'll be surprised what you can accomplish when you really put your mind to it.
That's awesome. All right. So now let's get into your first time working with clients over Zoom. Is it the COVID-19 that set this up?
Exactly. So what happened is, as I mentioned, at start of 2020, we rolled out custom suits, custom shoes. Had what's considered a trunk show. We're going to travel around the country. That was the plan. Meet clients in person and measure them up and get them all fitted for their suits. We did one before COVID-19 hit. So we had one. I did one. I traveled. I was in Indiana. It went off really well, and I thought, I'm on to something. This can work. I do one of these every 3 weeks, and I'm good. That went out the window. As soon as you couldn't travel, you couldn't meet with people in person. You can't really create those relationships like you could. So what I decided to do is I thought, well, I can connect with people on Zoom.
So hang on a second. Did you panic first, or did you go straight to problem solving, where you're like
problem solving immediately? Because here's the thing. I already had one aspect of the business up and running. We have the online store. You can buy all these accessories and things and shop, and then you can get the monthly subscription. So this was an add-on, but it really, I see it as the future of the business moving forward. So I was determined to not just let this, worldwide epidemic just crush my dreams. So I thought to myself, there's got to be a way that I can still connect with people. And I've used Zoom before, I used to do some coaching and help people. And I thought it was really good. It was pretty personal. You can really get to know different people or clients. So I thought, okay, let's use Zoom. And also on Zoom, if my lighting is good, I can hold up the fabric and you can see it very well. You can see the colors good. We can talk. We can do all the design elements right over Zoom. And I just thought to myself, if somebody's willing to do it, let's see how it goes. So that's kind of how the idea started. And then I started on social media, just telling people, hey, if you still are interested in custom suits, I know we can't get together, but the next best thing would be for us to get together on Zoom. And some people bit on it and they decided to give it a chance.
Okay. So what was your first Zoom call like? Because they have to measure themselves. I would assume that's one of the trickiest part of it is that if they do it wrong, they're not going to have the custom suit that they're thinking they're going to
I
get.
know. See, that's a good point. And this is what happened. So that part of it I did think out too. I thought, okay, well, they don't really know how to measure. They're not a tailor. They don't, they haven't really studied up on this. So what I did was develop uh, step-by-step instructions, and I was gathering all that information, what they need to do it. But I thought still not good enough. So I had to hire a designer and make a instruction booklet, like you get from IKEA. You get furniture, it's got the diagrams, it tells you how to do everything. Actually, it's better than IKEA, because if you go to IKEA, the instructions aren't that great. But everybody's seen an instruction manual, and it's got the diagrams, it's spelled out, and I take you step by step how to do the measurements, how to measure your shoulder, how to measure your chest. Of course, you can't really do it by yourself. You need the help of a friend. How to measure different parts of your body, all the important parts that you need. And then even that, I have you measure a pair of pants or a suit that you already have for some critical measurements like your sleeve length, your inseam, and things like that. So I developed that. I sent it off to a friend, have him test it, do that first, make sure it worked. Worked beautifully. Suit came out perfect. I thought to myself, we're on to something. It did cost a little bit, like I said, to hire somebody to design it, but I think in the end, that was a wise investment, because now I've been using that and sending it to people, and everything's coming back pretty much on point. Now, there's sometimes when I look at the measurements that they give me and I can tell they're off a little bit. And so from there, what I have them do is that's when I have the client picture of a current garment that they have with the tape measure on it, and then I can make the adjustments to make sure it all makes sense, because it's a little tricky, especially the shoulder down to the sleeve. For some reason, that always gets people wrong. People always have these super long arms, and I'm like, there's no way their arms are that long.
And when you've seen enough of those numbers, you're like, yeah, no, these don't add up, my friend.
Like, there's no way. Unless you're in the NBA, you shouldn't have arms that long,
This is not your dream measurement. These are your real measurements.
Right. Exactly.
So your first client, other than your friend that you run through what was that like for you, right? So, because how do you approach things? Are you the type of person that approach things like, okay, I got this, I know I'm going to come across as a professional, no mistake, or are you the guy who comes on as like, okay, you're my first client.
No, I didn't
go through this together?
No, I was determined to come across like, don't worry, I've got this covered, on the inside, of course, I'm like, I hope you like how this is going, but they did like it, because here's the thing, when you work with a client, especially for suits, you don't just dive in and start, hey, what color you want? You start asking all these questions. First thing we do is just relax, get to know you, find out, okay, what is this for? Why do you need it? What's the idea behind it? What's the occasion? Are you going to wear it frequently? So you just get to know people and break the ice and relax. And then after that, I can start to kind of help you, point people in the direction. So we got on, and what I did is, had the Confident Act going, and started showing the fabrics, make sure they could see it okay. I made sure I had good lighting, and yeah, it could see it great. They're like, no, this is great. I don't, ordinarily I would like to feel the fabric, but just seeing it, I trust you, that it looks good. It looks legit. I was able to kind of show them it's wrinkle resistant, and you can turn it, and as you angle it in the light, they can see the different texture and the weaving of the fabric throughout it. So it went really well. I let them know, okay, you're going to have to do the measurements, or take my measurement instruction guide to a local tailor and have them do it. But even if you take it to a local tailor, don't have them do it their way, have it done my way, so that we're following our process, so that it comes out correctly. Everybody's interpretation could be different, So it was a very pleasant experience. Afterwards, I chatted and I asked the person, I said, how do you think it went? They said, I think it went great, especially for considering, I mean, what's the alternative? Doing nothing, you know? So let's see how it goes. And placed the order, got everything back, fit great. I
Yeah.
mean,
So did you do your follow-up
worked.
Zoom to see it,
Yeah.
or yeah?
Well, I don't do a follow-up Zoom to see it. I usually ask them. I follow up once they get it, and people are eager to give you feedback. Um, and the feedback has been great. There's only been one instance where the pants were a little too tight, but there's always a little wiggle room in the pants. You can take it to a local tailor and have it let out. That happened once. But all in all, I'll tell you what, that first client, he's come back just this week. We had another Zoom meeting, and he ordered 2 more suits.
Oh, wow.
So once your sizes are locked in, and we know they're good, we don't have to go through that whole process again.
Yeah.
And then also there's been some people that want to make a few tweaks after they got the first garment. So it's easy to just say, give me an extra ½ inch on my bicep, you know, I've been working out, or, you know, whatever the case may be. Or just give me a little more, give me another inch in my seat, you know, just for comfort and things like that. So it's easy to tweak it. And I think people like it because it's convenient. You don't have to get up and go anywhere. They're at their home, and I meet people all times of night. I have my appointments open up to 10 p.m. Eastern time. So try to be convenient and flexible for people.
Okay. So a couple questions.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of people have been embracing it, but a lot of people aren't going anywhere anymore. So do you think that has actually impacted how many people would go through this process?
I think so. Considering that we're starting off this year doing custom, it's still a win for me. Now, I have been in touch with other people that have been in the custom business for years, and it's really impacted their business more. But also, they're choosing to wait this out. So they're not doing these video Zoom consultations. They're just, well, I can't meet in public, you know, and they're larger markets that they feel like I'll just wait it out, and then my clientele will return, or I'll seek out new clientele at that point. I didn't have the luxury of doing that. I was excited and gung-ho, and didn't want to just, you know, put everything on the shelf. And initially, didn't we think it was going to be like 2-3 weeks, you know, maybe of a lockdown? And here we are 5 months later. I'm glad I didn't wait. I can tell you that. I would have been collecting dust at that point, you know, just with that idea. But I think the key with anything, if you have an idea and you're enthusiastic about it, I think just innovate and try to make it work somehow. And you know, instead of just waiting, sometimes I dive into all kinds of stuff, and a lot of the stuff that I come up with, it flops. You know, I mean, it just does, and I just move on. I mean, I had a women's line that I was trying to put out, women's jewelry thing. It tanked. I mean, I didn't know anything about women's jewelry. I mean, it sells a little bit here and there on the website, but I mean, you just move on. You know, keep your head up, keep going.
Yeah, well, but it sounds, because you decide to go through this process, through the Zoom process, that you probably got part of their market share of everybody else who's like, we're going to sit this out. We're big enough to do that. We'll figure it out. You came in and you probably took part of that market. Now, is it something that you're considering when things do go back to normal that you'll actually continue to do?
Oh, most definitely. I will, because I'm based in Detroit, Michigan, and it's not a huge market, not like it was years ago. And especially for fashion and suits, you know, obviously what comes to mind is the big cities, you know, on the East Coast and West Coast and Chicago. But now, okay, I've been able to have clients from LA. I've had clients from Chicago, and I've had clients from Toronto, Canada. Those are big markets that are not in my backyard. But now I have the ability to meet with them in this way and have good relationships with them. And so we've talked, and when things open up, I will travel there and meet their friends and their colleagues. They want to recommend me to other people. So now I have an inroad, whereas before I would just be stuck to my local market here in Michigan. which is, pretty small. And now I feel like I have a global market at my disposal. I've even helped a gentleman from the UK get into a suit and some shirts, and it was seamless, ship the
Yeah.
product right to him. And I mean, there's no way I could have did that without the use of technology.
Yeah. And it puts you in a really good position because technology is going to continue to shift to where, scanning at home and,
Yeah.
like you'll be able to keep being at the edge of leveraging the technology, and your brand can become what's associated with that. So that's really exciting.
It is.
How long does it take from the meeting to them receiving their suit?
Yeah. It takes about 3 weeks once I have their measurements. So the turnaround's pretty quick for the industry standard. Our partners are great. The funny thing is, sometimes it takes longer for me to get their measurements back than it takes to actually make the garments. Because I'm like,
Believe it, people are horrible.
I know. I'm like, what are you doing? You've already paid. Like, you paid all this money. Like, give me the measurements. I'm hounding them. Like, hey, do you need any more help? And that's the thing that I bring up is you've got a personal concierge when you meet with me, right? There's a lot of online businesses. You see them advertising. I don't know why, but late at night, they come on. All these guys there's these businesses that they scan your body, like you said, and you can get custom jeans that fit you great and all this stuff. But the thing I say about that, when you order, and people have told me that they've tried it, when you order through some of those businesses online, right? You don't talk to anybody. So you just enter stuff and you just see stuff on a computer screen. And then when you get it back, it's like, that isn't exactly what I thought it was going to look like, but too late now. So I try to tell people it's nice because you get somebody to help you, somebody to talk to, bounce ideas off of. A lot of times people tell me, some of the design features, you just pick it for me. They just trust me to pick it out. So it's kind of nice. I look at it like back in the 40s and 50s, everybody was getting custom made suits and custom clothing. You had your tailor was just like your barber, in your back pocket, and that was your guy. So I'm fast forwarding, 80 years into the future, and I'm still trying to be that guy that's your personal concierge, but we just do it digitally. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to have that be the differentiation between buying an online suit and buying a suit online with a company like me. It's slightly different, and it's a personal relationship. I'll tell you a funny story. One gentleman was from Idaho, and he found out, we got to talking. He found out that I like jazz, and I think he saw my record player in the background or something. And we got to talking. He's since come back and reordered some shirts, and he proposed this to me. I thought it was a little strange. I hope he's not watching. He said next time we get together for a consultation for suits and stuff, he said let's have some whiskey together over Zoom and play some records. and so we did. We both had our drinks, and we played a couple songs and just got to know each other a little better. But I love making relationships with people. That's been the best part of it, really, for me.
That's a great story. And it is the time that we are going through. People are looking more and more for those connections. And that extra level of service is the future, because a lot of the basic stuff will get absolutely automated and you're not going to get it. So the concierge service, the extra assistance and the connection and the relationship. If you're not paying attention to those things, you're going to be left out. You're going to miss out of the boat.
Yeah.
Those are going to be the things that are going to be required. Now, of course, it's only so much scalable because there's only one of you. So eventually you'll have to train other people to provide the same service, but there's nothing like you doing it first and knowing exactly at what level you're going to want the next person to join the team to do it in.
Yes, exactly. Actually, I have somebody in mind that has been working with me on my podcast for a while. He's a stylist, and I had him join me on one of the latest Zoom consultations so he can get the feel of it and see how it goes before we just throw him out there by himself to meet with people. So yeah, the training process has begun. And I think you're right. if you watch the news, a lot of these big stores are closing.
Mm-hmm.
And even Men's Warehouse and Joseph A. Banks filed for bankruptcy last week. So they're closing 500 stores. I didn't celebrate publicly, you know, but on the inside I smiled, you know. But in all seriousness though, I did think to myself, well, you see what happens? Things are changing. You have to change with them, you know.
Yeah. And of course, there's different price points for everyone. I mean, I'm sure that it's not cheap to do this way. At the same time, the quality of what you get is a much higher level, and it's still people shifting to that mindset of, you know, pay the money to get something that's going to last longer, look better, and have higher quality, and then get the assistance. And especially if fashion and suits aren't your thing, and you are a busy person, I am so all about outsourcing what I don't know and don't like to other people. Like, hey, you take care of all of this. You make me look good, and I will do what I'm really good at. And yeah, that's the way to go. And eventually, people will be moving out and about in the world, and maybe you'll just do a lot more suit tops and not so many pants. Let me know when that trend happens where it's like, hey, Richard, well, actually I don't need the pants.
Yeah, right. Just need the top. That works. You're right. You know what's funny? Initially I was telling my parents about this, and they're like, you're doing what? You're meeting on Zoom? And I'm like, yeah, you know, I've got to keep this business going, you know. It's got my son's name on it. And they're like, okay. They're like, where is everybody going? Like, why do these people even need suits and shoes right now? And I'm like, hey, some people are going back to work, but other people have told me, well, when this does open up, I want to look great. You know, I want to step out and put my best foot forward. And then some people have been getting it for their weddings. Even though they're having small weddings, now they're getting their suits and they're wearing them for their weddings and the pictures and stuff. And then they're going to have a bigger reception later. So you know, everybody's got their ideas, and some people just dress up just because they love it.
Yeah.
There's a small group of individuals out there that they're always suited up.
I love them for it. Like,
right.
Before Rich came on, I told him, like, I know he's going to come on and he's going to look super dapper and I'm going to be me. So I'm the entrepreneur that believes in becoming a billionaire and wearing t-shirts.
Yeah, I get it. But hey, if I get you in a custom suit, you won't believe how comfortable these things are. That's
yeah.
I'm telling you, it's a difference between buying off the rack. You know, you buy off the rack and it's made in the middle for like a little bit of everybody, short people, tall, whatever, medium, skinny, and it never fits anybody right. But when it's custom, it's made for your body. So it's perfect for you. So, I mean, your range of motion, everything's great. It's super comfortable though.
I'm not gonna lie, if you get into the woman's side of the house for that, I'll be coming back, because I know I'll need them at some point, and I would like to have them. And I've traveled quite a bit of the world, and so I've been in South Korea where I got in custom everything done at the time, and it's amazing, it's incredible. And they actually, for the leather coats, actually, you know, specially made for, and your name's in the coat, and you feel really, really special, and it fits perfectly, although we tell you gain weight, but
right.
That's a whole other situation.
It's incentive to stay in shape.
No kidding. Like, I was way too expensive to grow out of it.
I'm not gonna grow out of this thing.
Yeah. That's very true. Yeah. So yeah, I'll stay posted. Let me know when you move. I'm not gonna lie, I do watch certain movies, and you know, it is from the olden days, or the show Suit. It's like, and I'm watching, what Jessica's wearing and what some of the characters are wearing. Like, I would love to look, if I did look that good in a suit, maybe I would, and they were comfortable. Comfortable is key. You're not going to see me in high heels, that's for sure. But it's comfortable, sure, I'll wear it. I'm a comfort above everything else type of person for sure.
Yep, definitely. Comfort first, style
Yeah.
second.
Yeah. And and I would need a concierge to give me a sense of style. So.
Definitely. I'll help you out.
All right.
Give you women's suits. Don't worry.
Let me know when that happens. All right. So before we move into the first time lightning round, tell people how to get in touch with you and how to schedule their Zoom call for their suit.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. So the best way is to go on the website, harrisonblakeapparel.com. And there's big buttons pretty much everywhere that says schedule a free Zoom consultation. And it's no pressure, even if you just want to get on there and explore the idea of it. I don't frown upon that because I like to educate people about the benefits of it and just kind of show you the options. Some people don't realize, how many hundreds of different options you can really do and the different things you can do. So that's the easiest way. And then on Instagram, we are at Wear Lapel Pins. Going back to the beginning, I never did get around to changing the name, and Harrison Blake was always taken. Every variation of it was taken. So we're still at Wear Lapel Pins on Instagram.
I'm glad you explained that, because when I was tagging you, I was like, what? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
What is this?
What does this even mean? Yeah.
But it's your root. It's where it all started. It's the first. And obviously you will never forget that. And when in doubt, that's what, you go back to what gets you off the ground. So that's awesome. All right. So it is time for the first time lightning round. I'm going to give Rich 10 different first time options. If it's something you've done before, then you say up. So it's similar if you were on the 365 First Challenge app. If it's something you've never done, not interested, then it's left. And if something that you've never done, would like to do, then it's right. And we add it to your list. Okay. First one, take a survival course.
No, that would be left.
It would be a left. I didn't know there's a inner outdoors man in this.
There is.
Well-suited man.
Cold. If it cold temperatures, I'm out.
Okay. Well, it could be a desert survival course. But it's probably one extreme to another if you're taking a survival course.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, then I know where you're going to swipe on this one, since you don't like the cold, which is, you're in Detroit. You should be used to the cold. But the next one is ride a snowmobile.
Actually, right. I would like to do that though.
Okay. Awesome.
I heard that's fun.
Okay. Play handball.
Left.
Not your thing. Do aromatherapy.
Right.
Learn to DJ.
Left.
Okay. Write a speech.
Up.
What is your first speech about?
Boy, first speech. It was about living the gentleman's lifestyle.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a speech by young men for the YMCA in Washington, D.C.
Very nice. I like, that's such a great title. It's such a great, and I can definitely see you delivering that. Okay. Invest in mutual funds.
Up.
Done that. Play Madden NFL game.
Left.
Not a video game or not a football person?
No video games.
I've
been horrible at them ever since Mario Brothers back in the 80s. Never been my thing.
All right.
Can't do it.
Fair enough. Toss pizza dough. So make pizza and toss pizza dough.
Right.
Donate blood.
Left.
Really?
Yeah. No
Scared
way.
of needles or?
I'm one of those people that they poke like 18 times to just draw a little bit of blood. I just have those veins that they really can't find unless somebody's really good. And there's just
not going through that, huh?
I just dread it. Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Final question. I think you addressed it a little bit, but maybe more on the personal side. How have you been making the best out of the current situation with the pandemic?
Yeah, good question. You know what I've been doing? Spending a lot of time with my family, making that a priority, and spending quality time with my kids. It's been really rewarding. Trying to look at the bright side, in Michigan, the school shut down really quickly, and there was no plan for online learning for 2 months. So we just didn't know what to do with them, and we just been spending so much time together. I'm like the third kid at the house now. So my wife works from home, and either we are making breakfast together, or every day we go for bike rides or walks. So we're just spending a ton of time together. And I mean, I'm riding around town with like I'm a kid again. It's like I'm 12 years old again. So I'm having
Oh,
a lot of fun with my kids. They're 14 and 10. And so I'm kind of like a big brother to them right now while mom's working.
that's awesome. Yeah, I think for some families it has been just such an amazing time to connect and
Mhm.
and maybe rethink doing homeschooling and seeing just I had this has been a while now, but I did expert advice for your first time homeschooling, and I learned so much through that. I was like, if I had kids, I would so be homeschooling because
Mhm.
the attention you can give them, you can really get to know how they learn, you can inspire them at an entire other level. You don't have to do the same crazy curriculum that they do in school, and there's so many tools and assistants to help you homeschool. Like I don't I mean, I understand for some people it just might not all be feasible,
Mhm.
but I think it's well worth embracing it instead of trying to do online schooling by school standard. Just switch over, like educate yourself about homeschooling and just switch it over.
We're definitely considering it right now. My wife tasked me with researching it, and I found about three good options. And coincidentally, like you said, the schools are here in Michigan. A lot of the districts are doing online learning, and I don't know how good that's going to go.
No, it's,
You know,
yeah,
I
I
really
mean,
don't. What's the quality going to be? It's already not that great
because
anyway.
it's actually that's one of the things Lee says. Like, you don't want your kids spending screen time. It's not about screen time. You can structure them to where they're busy for a few hours doing their schoolwork, and you can like drive their curiosity through the roof. And you're an entrepreneur. You can teach them about being entrepreneurs. Like, just get them out of the cycle of public school that I don't know how well it serves kids. Again, I don't have kids, so maybe it's very easy for me to say because I don't have kids, but it's one time where I kind of wish I did have kids because, like you just said, I would get to be a big kid with them all over again.
Oh
And,
yeah, spring break.
just teach them that learning is fun.
Mhm.
And what a gift you can give your kids, to instill that in them.
The greatest thing you can do is spend time with them. And if you can teach them things like you said, entrepreneurship, and show them, hey, the sky's the limit. If you have an idea, whatever you want to do. And my daughter's super creative, and she helps me. She's the oldest. She's already involved in the business, and I'm just so proud of her. Just how far she's come already. She's all the photography that you see. If you see a picture of me, or you see pictures on our Instagram, she is my photographer.
Oh, that's
She,
awesome.
she is amazing. So it's amazing what kids can do when you work with them, and if they have an interest in it. She had an interest in it. It's not like I just forced her to be my personal servant, but she had an interest in it, and she just has a knack for it. So I just want to foster that and encourage her to just keep going with it. And she's picked up a few gigs on her own here and there for people, and so it's pretty awesome to see.
That is so cool. I mean, yeah, she could become a world-renowned fashion photographer.
Never know.
Never. It's like, hey, honey, my dad. One of the best things I credit him for is that every time we brought something to him. So when I told him I wanted to be a Marine, he was like, "Oh, it was General Bernard's going to come back in her helicopter," and he always
Yeah.
painted this massive realm of possibility. And it was like right away. And so he just instilled that in me to always think way bigger than what I would possibly think is possible. And, that's such a gift to give your child, to have that mindset.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So, well, it's been actually one final question, because you talked about kids. Do you do custom suits for like, what's the youngest suit for?
Baptisms. No, I'm just, no, we do, we can do it. My son is 10, and I haven't even done one for him because of the cost. Yeah, they grow too fast. So, I mean, but if people want it, it can be done. It's just, to me, I'm like, nah. I told him when he gets 16, we'll do it. And I think he'll be able to wear that for 2 years, maybe, if he doesn't, hit the weights or something. And then, maybe when he graduates to get another suit. But yeah, it's like you said, it's not cheap. And for a kid, man, they grow so fast. I just bought him sneakers, and I had to give them away. These things were like brand new. I'm like giving away brand new Nikes to some other kid. I'm like, this is crazy. So, kids just grow too fast.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know for somebody, like you were saying, the wedding, if their kid's their best man or whatever, and they want a matching suit. And
they could definitely, for special occasions, I guess it would make sense. But for just everyday wear for like church or, ministry or something like that, I would say no way.
Yeah. Well, that'll be a first when you get your first child client.
Yeah, right. I haven't done that yet.
All right. Well, thank you, Rich, for joining me this morning. It's been a pleasure talking with you, hearing your story, and learning about your business.
No, thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. You're a great interviewer. Made me feel so comfortable.